Well, good morning and welcome to Wake Up Wednesday on Thursday. I did a recording yesterday and had all kind of technology issues and getting it from one thing to the other. So anyway, I'm redoing it because I've had so much fun in what I want to talk about, which is seasons, that I think it's a really cool thing to pay attention to in our lives. Just like we have seasons in our year, we have spring where things are sprouting and blooming and coming back to life, and the days are starting to get a little longer. And then we have summer where things really heat up the temperature, and the days get longer than the nights actually in the summertime. And so there's a lot more outdoors and activity. And then we come to fall where the temperatures start to cool down again. The nights start to get a little longer, sorry, and the days a little shorter. And then we move into winter where we know there's a lot going on, even though it doesn't look like it on the outside. A lot is happening underground and underneath as the earth and the trees and the plants are preparing to come back up again next spring. So every season has its thing that it's doing, its purpose on the planet, and it's all about the rotation of the earth around the sun and how the earth is tilted on its axis, all these things that I find fascinating. But however, I'm all about practical information. How does it impact me? And I have a couple of books that I reference, which have been really fun. One of them is called Your Hidden Symmetry, and it's how your birth date reveals the plan for your life. This is one reference that I have, and I found it very fascinating that this year, if I look up the year that I was born, if you happen to be born in 1963, this information will apply to you as well, and it could be really helpful. The reason is because if there's a natural order or a flow, just like a season of winter or spring or summer, there are certain things that are happening during that year that are very appropriate. You would not go out in the middle of winter and plant your garden. You just wouldn't do that. So there's certain behaviors and aspects to all of it. And so when I look mine up according to this, it's a 9-star key, and it's based on ancient, like the Chinese and charts and all kind of things that are very, very old systems that people figured out a long time ago. And I love that kind of information because that's where we've learned about meridians, for instance, acupuncture, and things that people have known about for centuries that may not necessarily always be mainstream, or it's taken time to get this kind of information from the Eastern older cultures to someplace so new like the United States of America. So I find it fun, right? I'm not going to base my be all end all on this information, but I find it helpful. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you that I found fascinating, when I looked up my number, it talked about that I'm in a 1 year, and a 1 year is a winter. You could liken it to a winter year. So this year of 2022, it's very specific about the information it gives me of how to work with the year that I'm in, and again, to pay attention. And so this one is about it's almost like going underground. And so it's called Dream the Dream. And oh my goodness, I didn't read the book and then go make this wall, my dream wall, my vision wall, my feel good wall. I was doing this naturally, and then I look it up and I go, wow, that's pretty cool, because I was naturally led to be in the year that I'm in. And so okay, I get super excited. So this is the first year in a brand new era for you. And again, this week is my last week for brainwave optimization. So it's a close of one huge part of my life, moving into something else, not completely sure what that is yet. But it's an important time of new beginnings. So in the cycles of nature, the 1 year is associated with the energy of winter. In most climates, when you look outside, it appears there's nothing alive or growing. It seems pretty desolate, but in fact, we know that that's not true. Deep down in the ground, the seeds are soaking in all the rich nutrients in the cold, wet soil. And we know that if they stay there all winter, what sprouts in the spring will be able to grow to its fullest potential. We'd never dream of running into the garden in the middle of winter, pulling the seeds up out of the ground and shouting, come on, grow, grow. So you need to apply this awareness to your 1 year as well. It's not necessarily a time to take a ton of action. Instead, it's a time to go inward. It's a time to rest, replenish your energy, and dream about what I would love from life in this next stage. And again, how interesting is that? I talked about my word. As a matter of fact, it's on my wall. You can't see it because of my chair. But anyway, it's rest. And I talked about that this rest is what was calling to me. That was like in December. And so they say, or she says, the energy of the year oftentimes can start the transition, just like no season. I mean, we may have, they say that March 1st begins spring. Okay, well, that feels pretty ridiculous here in Colorado Springs. This does not feel like spring. It's -8 degrees outside, and I absolutely still feel like it's winter. And so seasons, it's not an exact day thing, just like this, the energy of the year starts to transition before the year shows up. And so I was already feeling called to this idea or this word of resting, of refreshing, and I'm dreaming. And oh, this is crazy. So the creativity piece as well has shown up for me. And I find that super cool because I love one of the things I'm doing for my vision wall. And again, I got this at Christmas. I have not read from my book yet what year I was in, and this is my butterfly. Now, this is just a picture, but this is a puzzle that I'm working on that again, I got it for Christmas. It's been a couple of months, and I'm in the blues section. I've got a portion left. Everything else is done. And I'm so excited because that is going to go on my wall. It's going to go over here in this blank space. And so that's so fun because it also, another book that I have, The Life You Were Born to Live, talks about a 1 year is a year of creativity and confidence. So again, I'm feeling the urge, right, to create, to do things artistically. And so one of those things is working on this puzzle. The other one, again, you can't make this stuff up, is that I have been feeling called to paint. I for 2 or 3 years, I've said I want to take a class or something like that. I've talked to friends, and finally, I just received in the mail this week this is a picture of what is going to be an adult paint by number that I'm doing. Okay, so again, it's natural in the flow of the energy of the year that I'm dreaming, that I'm creating. I'm also supporting someone in March who is a brilliant woman, and we're doing a class. She's going to be teaching a class. I'm just helping gather and, the place, the people, the stuff, but your creative heart, the creativity of the heart. So again, this whole thing that's showing up is fascinating to me. So I encourage you, maybe you look up this book, or, private message me or DM, or in here, tell me your birth date. I need your day, the day, the month, the year, and I can tell you what year you're in so that you can at least just be aware, of what is the energy of the year so you can work with it so that you can maximize your potential. So that's what I have for you today. I think these things are a lot of fun, and I'm excited to be here with you, and I look forward to talking to you again next week on Wake Up Wednesday.